This is Menu, Notre Dame campus dining menus for North and South dining halls, filtered by allergens and sorted by favorites, by Bailey, Katie, Logan, and Zach. This project was created for Programming Paradigms' final project assignment. For this project, our group wished to create a client-server system where we could access the Notre Dame Dining Hall North and South Dining Hall JSON data to describe and display which meals were included for every day. For this project, our group created a Cherry Pie server, which can be accessed by going from the main directory into the Cherry Pie server directory. And then, as you can see, we have a food controller, a food database, the JSONs, which we, for this testing purposes and demonstrating purposes, downloaded, whereas in the grand scale of our project, we wish to make it so that it would be able to be chosen for every day, as opposed to just this downloaded data. And then to run this project, we simply take the Python 3 from this course and run main.py. And as you can see, now the thread has started and the server is running. For the client of this project, we can see in this main directory folder that there is the Web Tools directory. So if we go into the Web Tools directory, here we can see all the different files that we have. So for the main HTML files of this project, we have index.html and adduser.html. So for these two, if we just go look at index really quickly, there's just the general navigation bar that we'll have, the main containers for the web page, which includes an allergens and favorites container, which has the user's information, such as their favorite meals that they've had and the number of times that they've eaten them. Those come with little checkboxes to then update a user's allergies as well. We also then have the dining hall container, which includes North and South dining hall tabs. And then from these tabs, you can also choose which meal, such as breakfast, continental breakfast, brunch, lunch, late lunch, and dinner. And then you can search for meals at those meal times for that day. And then those are displayed as a table and checkboxes, which you can, or radio buttons, excuse me, that then you can, as a client, choose those radio buttons and add that meal to your favorite meals. Then we also have our styling CSS. So the CSS, let's just look at style CSS really quickly. That just has basic colors and margin spacing updates so that we can see and better organize the web page. Finally, our main client control stuff that we have is in client.js. So in this JS file, we have all of our different functions for the client. For example, we have page reset, which eliminates all of the different tables that we've created with the radio buttons, etc. We have get user info, which allows us to search for a specific user and get their different allergens. So once we've done that HTTP request, we can call set favorites and set allergens, which set favorites goes through the allergens container and favorites container back from the HTML in index. And for all the food ID and user favorites, which came from the JSON data up here, we can create a table as well as set allergens. We have checkbox, we set them all to false, and then we go through and check if the allergen was within that list of allergens that came back from the JSON, and check it to that checkbox of allergens to true based off of the user. We can also send another HTTP request to update a user's allergens if he or she adds a new one, as well as we can add our new user. And we also have a different mealtime dropdown, and based off of how our JSON data is stored, we have to access the specific mealtime of the dining halls. So for our project, in terms of scaling, and this time we had to just pick a hard code a specific day, and then we just check the times. However, had we blown this project up a little bit further, we also would change that based off of project demonstration. But in order to prove the accuracy of our project, we had to hard code the meal day, because otherwise we would not be able to check that the JSON data and the data being read back from responses was correct. We also then have the tables that are created about for North and South Dining Hall. We then also can update a user's favorite meals based off of their an HTTP request. In order to check our client's accuracy, we had to run numerous simulations, both with Restless and with our own client interface. We had to check with smaller scales of data and then make sure that the responses that we were getting back from our server were correct and that we were displaying them correctly with our client. Here we have our user interface and the client. In order to run the client, you would have to enter this URL into the web browser. It's student04.csu.nd.edu/b-login1/final_project/index.html. Actually, we can also run it without this index.html here, but once you hit enter, it will render again. So if we go like this, there it is. For this project, there are numerous interactions that the client can have with the server. For example, we can add a new user by simply choosing options and then add new user. Here, we can add in a net ID, so let's put Bailey. blogin1, add user. And then it says it's successfully added. Then if we go home, we can say search for Bailey Logan. Now it will show up with all the different dining hall options, let's say, because we were looking at North, for North Dining Hall for breakfast. Now, since we have an option over here that allows us to check the favorites that Bailey has had, if Bailey, for instance, ate the bacon one morning, we can add that to her favorite meals. Now, let's say we wanted to look for late lunch at South Dining Hall. Search for Bailey. Then let's say she had a kiwi, and she really liked that kiwi, so we add that to favorite meals. Now let's say she actually had 2 kiwis, so we want to add that again. Now you'll see that over here, her favorites has been updated to 2 times that she's eaten that. Now, let's add another user. For Logan. Let's say Logan has an egg and milk allergy. Oh, first we have to search his name. All right, now I didn't save those, obviously, because I didn't have a user search. So let's say egg and milk and save the allergens. We say OK. Now, when we search for Logan again, notice how all egg and milk options have been filtered from this North Dining Hall breakfast menu. If we wanted to simply update those again, say Logan somehow was no longer lactose intolerant, we could say save allergens again. Then we'll search again, and you'll see the waffle bar came back up because that had the milk allergen in it. Let's see, so then let's say he really liked the waffle bar. Let's add that to favorites. Now let's search again. Oh, let's search again with lunch. And search. And then we have all these different options. But let's say today is Monday, so there shouldn't be any continental breakfast. So we search, and there you go. There's no options for today because there are no continental breakfasts. Finally, if we wanted to go back to Bailey, we could say bLogan1 and search again. And then you can see that the data has persisted and Bailey's 2 favorite bacon and kiwi meals are still saved as her favorites. That's our project. Thank you.